questions. So if we do have questions in the audience or online, we ask you to come up to the microphone. And if so, our speakers who are in the audience or who are online can also help with any of those questions. So now is the chance to give you a moment to see if you have any, or are you off to afternoon coffee and tea? I see people coming in, so.
Thank you. I had a question for Francois. I know you. Oh, sorry. I was looking over there. Sorry. I know you talk about, at the end of the talk, you mentioned the ability for users to run the queries, and nobody wants to write Sparkle and do any query. And you were talking about using LLMs to do that. Have you thought about some sort of graphical UI to do something like that? Because I'm not sure if biologists would look into LLMs, and is there a better way that you can think of?
I would say that.
You can also come to the mic just so that people aren't here.
My short answer will be that no one wants to write Sparkle query, and now there is maybe tool with the large language model that would simplify this thing. So we can have the natural language querying interface that would create Sparkle query for us, and then we will be able to use AI to ask a question through truth resource, which are a knowledge graph. And the results can then be compressed and organized with the LLM to give short answers. So I think that LLM and any kind of AI technology needs a truth resource, and the semantic web have been good at creating high quality data source.
Excuse me. My question was for Mitchell with the Overture stuff. It's really cool. Amazing platform. I also do open source development on docstore.org. So we should talk about getting our tools working with your thing. But my question was more general, like, how do you, when you're approaching some use case or problem in your system, how do you balance choosing like an existing open source tool in order to satisfy that versus coding something of your own? Or either, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering, like, when you're approaching some problem, how do you balance like finding some open source solution and then making it work for a use case versus coding something new? And like, what are the benefits and drawbacks? Because it's a pretty complex system, I could tell.
That is a killer question. It's great. The JavaScript community is very well known for reusing a lot of components, and that has backfired. So we tend to be very skeptical of using things that are not kind of tried and true by other people in the community. We do have a few years of doing the same thing over and over, so we kind of have the right tools already chosen, but we tend to veto things very carefully for that reason, because we already know what works. If we're going to step out of that path, it's because we have a reason to. So we are in a good position. I can understand how other people are approaching this with less solved questions, with fewer solved questions, they would have an issue. I don't have an answer for you, to be honest.
Yes. Okay, last question.
I wanted to ask a question to Robert. Thanks for the great talk, because I feel like I understand thermodynamics. Yeah, not really. Anyway, I was wondering, you shared some lessons learned and things that you would recommend we do. But I guess my question for you is, would you do it all over again? And if you were, what would you do differently? Climbing in your little time machine.
Definitely would do it again. The community curation, and there's not much I would change. It worked like super surprisingly well, really. Like this was, I don't know, 17 people, I think, of which I knew 3, and just the others popped out of nowhere and helped. Really, really great. That's also why I wanted to share it here with you. But it works only for somewhat simple tasks, right? If you want to do super fancy science stuff, it's certainly harder.